Hello and welcome to the Passion Show. My name is Phil, and joining me as always is my co-host Kyle.
Hello.
And we also have very special guest Samir.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I love the show. I'm a big fan.
Good.
So in today's episode, we're talking about cartoons.
I fucking love it, man. It's a wide topic, I suppose, isn't it? It's quite a range. It's quite
Very broad.
Yeah. So I guess I don't
It's
know.
like saying I love films, isn't it? Because like
Exactly,
it's like a cartoon can be so many different genres and stuff.
Yeah, it could be hentai.
There's a whole episode to itself.
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
Okay, so this week we're talking about cartoons. We've got Samir on as an avid cartoon watcher.
I do love him.
So can you sort of pinpoint what it is about like cartoons themselves?
I think it's a good question. I don't think people that love cartoons often think about this enough. I'm like, why? Because when I watch a cartoon series and stuff, the first question I always think is, could they have done this live action? And more often than not, the answer is no.
I like thinking that. I like watching a cartoon or like an animated film and thinking this could only be done in animation.
Yeah.
Like, and they take advantage
Mhm.
of the fact that it's animated.
Yeah.
And that's why I think sort of, some like the Disney remakes, like Aladdin and Dumbo, I think it loses
For
a lot
sure.
of magic that you can't have without animation.
For sure, it's like I liked the Jungle Book remake, but there is something that inherently works for cartoons to have a little jungle boy and a big bear dancing.
Yeah, it
That makes
doesn't it?
sense in animated films. But to have it live action, obviously, it still works. And Bill Murray's great as the bear and stuff, but as Baloo, but it still loses some of the magic because it's just not as flexible. If you're making it live action, it still has to be weighted in reality, and things move in a realistic way, and things look a realistic way. And that's kind of when it's animated. That's the whole point. You're trying to escape. Like the example I was thinking of was to go to one of my very first loves for cartoons with Futurama.
Oh, I always talk about Futurama. I've
It's
been talking
honestly-
about loads.
It's honestly, I find myself in the minority because look, don't get me wrong, I'll take a bullet for The Simpsons, but Futurama, oh my god,
I think I agree with you, I
that's
think
something
like
else.
as a whole package,
Yeah.
Futurama's better than The Simpsons.
I genuinely think like I missed out like not growing up with Futurama.
Yeah, for
Brilliant,
sure. It's something else. Like so, the example I was talking about is obviously if this was live action, you can imagine that this just wouldn't work and it would seem really fucking dark. So the very first episode, obviously Fry's ended up in the future and he's in the year 3000 and all that, meets up with Bender in the street. And when he meets Bender, Bender's in the queue for the suicide booth.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a live action suicide booth where people are just queuing up to fucking kill themselves and put like $1 in and they're like, right, that's it.
I think it's interesting that you mentioned Futurama because I was
Yeah.
going to ask you what you sort of thought the inception of this was. Is there animations from your childhood that you think might have prepared you?
Yeah, I think Futurama was one of the big ones. That's one of the ones I've loved for a long, long time. I think it came out at a perfect age for me. You know, I was born in 94 and that kind of started like 99. So it kind of came at the perfect time. I might not have understood all the jokes in it,
Yeah.
but there was stuff that I definitely understood
Well,
as
it
well.
kind of like was your Simpsons, wasn't it, in a way?
Yeah, it was. Like, I think for Simpsons, and again, obviously I did grow up with it as well, but I think it's probably 5-6 years earlier than me that grew up with it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, from its conception from there. So Futurama, I've been with it for its whole existence. I was there when it got cancelled and then picked up again and then cancelled again. So I've been there the whole time. So it holds a very special place. So that's definitely one of the ones that kind of shaped it. And the other one is, growing up, there was a ton of great animated superhero cartoons on.
Yeah.
There was the X-Men cartoon, there was the Batman 90s cartoon.
So my go-to is the Spider-Man one from the
Spider-Man
90s.
was, yeah, Spider-Man was
with
incredible.
that brilliant theme tune.
My superhero cartoon was Ben 10.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I missed that.
I love Ben 10. That's more like our age, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I was, I don't know what I was trying to do then, but I wasn't watching Ben 10.
So, are there any other, like, more, like, proper kids cartoons that you think sort of started this?
Yeah, and I'll tell you one that is really weird, and I've been revisiting it recently, is Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about
Oh
like,
my God.
I never really watched it, but I love the concept that it's a
Yeah.
really scary show.
I really recommend it because it's like, and it's crazy because I watch this now and I look and I think back about me watching this as a kid and I'm like, what was I doing? How do I not have PTSD?
Yeah.
Like, it is real dark and
Well, I
it's real
like
scary.
I like sort of scary kid stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I find it really cool. Like,
Well, I really like when they don't shy away from it.
yeah, exactly.
I really like, this is, I suppose a side note is, the Studio Ghibli films, Hayao Miyazaki, he always says when he makes animated films, he doesn't want to treat the kids like idiots. Like,
Exactly.
he knows that kids are clever and that they can pick up on subtle themes and they're okay to be scared. And you know, I think it's important that you don't coddle the kids, and you kind of you can
Definitely.
show them.
Cartoons get very dark. Like I know they did Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, that's real messed up too.
I
Yeah.
think it's a lot of the Cartoon Network sort of shows from like the 90s, isn't it?
yeah.
Because
and
even stuff like Dexter's Lab and stuff has weird stuff in it.
it's got weird
doesn't
stuff in it.
And Cramp Twins.
Yeah, Cramp Twins is pretty dark as well. Yeah.
I remember the one about one of the kids, the good kid.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. I
Yeah,
can't
I
remember
don't
them.
know if I can remember.
But he had a mate, and she had like a guinea pig or something,
Uh-huh.
and she said it was going rabid, but it wasn't. She was just stroking it backwards
Oh
and
my
putting
God.
like cream in its mouth to make it look rabid. I remember the scene where she's stroking it backwards, and I was like, Jesus Christ!
Oh my god.
There were some disgusting SpongeBob episodes.
I've been wanting to bring up SpongeBob,
Yeah.
like before you go into that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I genuinely think it's great.
It's
like,
fantastic.
It's
It's
fascinating.
brilliant.
But it's also, I do think it's kind of crazy how it manages to stay relevant through its use of viral memes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
people-
it still gets talked about.
It
and
still gets
stuff.
talked about because it's, you know, you can't go on Facebook without seeing something to do with them, or Instagram or something to do with it, you know.
I saw a video essay why it transcends through you growing up.
Yeah.
It's because as a child you watch it and you see it through SpongeBob's eyes, and then when you grow up you see it through Squidward's eyes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because I mean, I think I've always related to Squidward. Maybe I was just a grumpy kid, but I've always just thought, yeah, this guy's onto something. This guy knows what he's talking about. That SpongeBob guy does seem annoying.
And if you associate with Patrick, you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
Patrick was a horrible person.
But the other one of those cartoons I love, and I still revisit this as well, is Pinky and the Brain. Pinky and the Brain
yeah.
is fantastic, and it's it's real clever. When you look back, it's like I don't think I understood any of this as a kid. Like I really don't. I was probably just like, oh, there's a funny mice.
That's one of those. That's a real Saturday morning cartoon for
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Like,
for sure.
That's what that feels like.
And I think a lot of the darkness of these cartoons, a lot of the kind of the weird, messed up stuff, transcends into some of the animated stuff I like now, and some of the kind of
Yeah.
stuff I've kind of grown into, especially discovering anime. And
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
I was
that kind
about
of
to
stuff.
say we
Yeah.
can transition into anime now
Yeah.
because that's a whole genre
Yeah.
of cartoons.
Yeah, yeah. That's as
And
vague as
it's-
saying I like cartoons.
Yeah,
again, 'cause it's so-
exactly.
yeah.
It's like it just goes deeper and deeper, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Because I'm still really new to anime, but I'm
Mm.
trying to get into it. I watched One Punch Man,
Which is great, right?
which it's the best.
Yeah,
like
it's
I'm just
perfect.
I just wanted to tell everyone,
Yeah.
and even a lot of people have seen it. Like
Mm.
it's really sort of like widespread now, but
Yeah.
I love it. It's great.
Well, it's perfect, and I think watching One Punch Man's pretty interesting to watch first because obviously it's quite parody like of other anime.
Yeah, that's sort of the problem I'm coming across.
So because I saw One Punch Man before I watched Attack on Titan,
Yeah.
and now Attack on Titan I just can't watch it because it's just like you know, because there's a lot of stuff where it's like, you know, oh, there's always a more powerful boss and that kind of stuff. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But very first anime I watched was Cowboy Bebop, which I
Yeah.
think is a great gateway anime. I think it's like the
Yeah.
perfect gateway anime because it's really Western in its approach. Like it references a lot of Hollywood films and, you know, a lot of classic stuff that we all kind of recognize. There's a whole episode that kind of does the plot of Alien. So I think it's a great gateway anime. I think that's how it blasts open the doors. Kind of makes you realize that anime is just kind of a lot more than
you know
high
what,
school girls in school uniform.
Do you know what anime fascinates me?
Mm.
The whole Dragon Ball community.
It's
They are
interesting.
massive.
Yeah,
Like,
They're
um,
hardcore.
Yeah. So when that movie came out last month, I think it was called like Super Broly or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's the one.
We sold out in my place every single night.
I bet
like-
that screen smelled terrible. All those anime fans packed into one room. Oh my god.
I remember because I work in a cinema as well, and I was like serving some guy, and I gave him a little feedback card to like do some feedback online for me. And he went, "I'll do that if you bring Dragon Ball back." And I was like, "I don't have the power to do that, but I'll try my best."
I'll make some phone calls.
People love it, but I think one topic we haven't sort of touched on yet is the sort of whole resurgence of like adult cartoons, which not in the way you're thinking.
Yeah, not hentai. Again,
Yeah,
that's on
yeah.
the Patreon.
So, like
but-
Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
BoJack,
Rick and Morty was
Archer.
like the sort of catalyst. I think like there were
Yeah.
other ones, but
That was one of the big. I think that was one of the mainstream ones. You also had Archer as well,
Yeah,
kind of at the
definitely.
same time. But yeah, BoJack, that was another one that kind of pushed the boat a bit. But
Big Mouth now is like one of the biggest.
yeah, and I think another cartoon that never gets talked about enough, which I recommend if you guys haven't seen, is Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which is an Adult Swim one, and it's just about, it's like these fast food things, but they all live together, and they all, like one guy's is called Frylock, and he's just fries, like, so it's just, but they just talk about real messed up stuff, or there's real dark sense of humor, and I think that was one of the ones that kind of, I think it secretly paved the way for a lot of these big ones now, So yeah, I mean, One Punch Man falls into that as well. That's a
Mm.
pretty adult sense of humor as well. But yeah, Big Mouth is huge now. There's Netflix have loads of original stuff as well. It's like
Yeah.
Paradise PD.
Well,
I've
I
not seen
tried-
that, but
I tried that and
how was it?
I didn't really like it.
No.
It's one of them where like because it's such a big thing now, everyone's trying to get a bit of the market
For
share,
sure.
aren't they? So you get ones where you've got like, you know, your one quirky character.
Yeah.
You know, like
There's a blueprint almost to
yeah,
follow.
it's almost like the sort of Family Guy one where
Yeah.
you know it's like there's one sort of non-human character.
Yeah.
They've got that in Paradise PD.
He's
Do
like
you know what I mean?
he's like the witty sidekick.
yeah,
all
or he's
dry.
like an alcoholic or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can see like the formulas coming in with them.
There's another one I just kind of that came to mind. That's almost, I guess it's like a blend of the few last things we're going to talk about is the Boondocks, which is again that's another one that I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I don't think it's only like it's less than 10 years old, but I just don't think it would be allowed if it came out today because it basically just focuses on these two kids, Huey and Riley. And it's just about them kind of growing up in the black community and kind of just dealing with stuff on a day-to-day basis. But it's very parody. Like there's an episode where they do like an alternate reality where Martin Luther King didn't die. He went into a coma and then he wakes up in like 2014 or something. And he just looks around and he sees like, you know, all these twerking videos and he's like, what the fuck happened?
It sounds good.
Yeah, it's great. It's honestly so good. It's real great.
I think like animation as well. Joe, we were saying before, like can it be made in live action? That it really works with like adult sort of theme stuff because you can be like explicit and you can F and Jeff as much as you want, and it really works. And I think it's kind of like the juxtaposition because your brain is kind of trained to watch cartoons and be kids show.
Yeah.
So when it's like explicit, it's really funny.
Yeah,
it works. It works.
you're probably lulled into this sense of like
I think that's what it is.
it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be nice and friendly and stuff. And then to see animated characters swear and you know fight,
It's like-
and, you know,
Do you know what show does that amazingly?
Go on.
South Park.
yeah.
Fourth graders.
But I think with South Park again, I think that's a good point. But I think the animation style is so unique. It's its own experience. Like you don't look at South Park and like this is gonna be friendly and stuff. You're like there's something weird with this animation style, but it works for the show. The most recent episode of South Park I watched was the school shooting one, which was the most recent season.
Yeah, that was amazing.
It was perfect. Like it was so good. It was just. Have you seen this one?
No.
It's just there's these school shootings going on, but obviously because so many happen in America now, people just pretend like they're not happening. Like they're just going on in the corridor, like, oh Jesus Christ, there's another one. Just close the door.
You know, after that episode, every single episode that aired that series, whenever there was an establishing shot of the school,
Yeah,
there was school shooting
school shoot all the time.
Oh.
It's fucking dark.
They
but
just treat it like it's nothing at this point.
Yeah, it's wild. But that's another one that's South Park. The evolution of South Park's been pretty interesting thinking about because that started off as just Cartman kind of making jokes about poo, and then it's kind of evolved into this.
The social commentary.
Yeah,
isn't it?
nothing's safe to be satired now, it seems. And I think that's been a really clever way of the way a cartoon's managed to stay relevant and get people talking about it still.
I love their stance of like everybody's wrong.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and I think it's a really really important thing about comedy that doesn't happen enough now is that you know everyone's kind of so scared of offending each other, but South Park is everyone's fair game, and that's how it should be. I think
I respect that so much.
Everyone's fair game, and if you have an opinion, be prepared to have it taken the piss out of by
They take the piss out of themselves as much as they take the piss out of other people.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker are brilliant. They despise Family Guy. Do you know about that?
They what? Sorry.
They despise Family Guy.
Oh yeah, well they have the episode about it, don't they?
Yeah.
Where they basically they say that the way Family Guy come with their jokes is they've got these manatees in a big tank and they just
the
randomly
balls.
select a ball. I'm like, oh, that reminds me of the time when this happened.
I think what we were saying before about like the new resurgence of like adult sort of oriented cartoons back in like the 90s and mid noughties, like early noughties. That's what it was. It was like South Park and Family Guy and American Dad, and The Simpsons was still like there in that group with them. And now I feel like it's like this new sort of breed.
It's this new wave, isn't it?
It's like the Netflix ones, isn't it?
It is the last like 3-4 years, especially. Like I said, it's really is this new wave at the minute, and it's not slowing down anytime
It's really
soon.
great.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it.
I'm all for it. I mean, like we mentioned Archer earlier, I think that's incredible. I really think Archer's
I haven't seen much of Archer, but
the thing, because obviously I think it got to like season 5 or 6, and I was like, it's good. It's just kind of more of the same. And then season 7. The main character Archer, he kind of goes into a coma, so the whole of season 7 takes place in his memory, so it's done in like a noir style. It's like a very stylized, jazzy
the whole
detective
season.
noir yeah.
Sick.
It's great, and it was a really clever way of just kind of keeping it fresh and doing something new, I think.
So if you had to sort of pinpoint like a sort of top 3 cartoons, what would you go for?
Okay.
And it can be like adult oriented ones, it can be like ones from your childhood, but do you have any like that really stand out to you?
Okay, I'll say the three I always probably return to most is probably Cowboy Bebop #1. To me, that's my favorite ever, and I don't know if that'll ever be topped. I think it's just the perfect blend of everything animated and just TV should be in general.
Yeah.
Futurama, like we mentioned earlier,
Very
that's
good.
over there for sure. Because again, that's everything. I think again that embodies a lot of stuff that comedy cartoons can be,
Yeah.
and it takes full advantage of it. And then I might go with the 90s Batman. I might go with the 90s
Yeah.
Oh
Batman.
wow, good choice.
Yeah, because I think, obviously we've had so many different versions of Batman. I really think that maybe that and the Arkham video games are as close as we can get to like a perfect version
Definitely.
of Batman.
I agree with you with the Arkham games as well.
Yeah, because I think what the Arkham games did well, so it's a side note, but they kind of take what works for the 90s cartoon and they can blend it with the modernistic, darker stuff.
Yeah.
And make this one kind of version where, but like the Mr. Freeze stuff in the 90s cartoon is incredible. Like that should be a film in
Isn't
itself.
it winning an Emmy?
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
the
it did.
first, like,
Yeah, it was
cartoon
a
to win an
2-part
Emmy.
series, Heart of Ice. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
part 1 and 2, and that should be a film in itself, man, for sure. What's yours, Phil? Tell me yours.
I'm trying to think of like a well-rounded three.
Yeah.
So I'll go for Spider-Man from the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with you with Futurama.
Yeah,
I
man.
really like Futurama.
For sure.
I don't know. I kind of feel like saying Rick and Morty. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's too big now.
I mean, it's.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying
but
because
it's still just great.
it's still
I
great.
Love
yeah.
it.
What do
Yeah.
you just as a side? Is there any Futurama episodes you can remember that stand out to you?
Oh.
Because there's one that I'll talk about. Mike, you can think of yours. Do you remember the Werecart episode where Bender he gets hit by a car
Yeah.
and turns into, it's like a werewolf, but he's like a werecar. So when it's a full moon, he becomes like this big car and he starts howling, and whoever he runs over, they turn into a werecar as well. That was
I
one
like
of my favorites.
the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory one with the
man.
Slam.
Yeah, the slurm. And what's the slug that's always partying? I
Uh,
can't remember his name, but yeah, he's just there. And there's a point where, because it's like they sell this really cool worm, and then near the end of the episode, he like pulls his shades out, and they're all bloodshot, and he's like, "I've been partying for like 20 years."
and he goes out partying, but all he does is just moves his arms.
Just these two babes in bikinis. Just
yeah, woo. What was his name, like Slams or something like that?
Slurms Mackenzie, is
Yeah.
it? Yeah, that's it.
Oh, it's a buzz
It's
episode.
fantastic.
Futurama's just genius.
I might go home and watch it right now.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Marathon.
So what about you, Kyle? Do you have any sort of favourite cartoons?
I have a favourite story about a cartoon.
Here we go.
Do you guys know about the story of Scrappy-Doo?
Yeah.
There's a story of Scrappy Doo.
Story of Scrappy-Doo. So, 1960s, Hanna-Barbera. They were in their prime.
Shout out to
Yeah.
the Jetsons, because I love
They
that
had
shit
the
as well.
Jetsons,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Flintstones.
Yeah.
They were lit. And then they started to stagnate, so they brought out like, these series that were all the same, of like a group of 5. And Scooby-Doo was one of these series. Scooby-Doo was one of these that people loved it, like it went through the roof. But then Scooby-Doo also got to the point where that stagnated, so they jumped the shark and added Scrappy-Doo. People loved Scrappy-Doo. He was like a minion,
Yeah.
like of that era. So basically what happened was he overshadowed Fred and Daphne, so they got rid of Fred and Daphne,
Yeah.
and then they got rid of Velma,
Oh, man.
and then they got rid of Shaggy.
Oh man, I like those guys.
People despised Scrappy-Doo.
Because he
and
killed them all.
It got to the point where so they vowed never to have Scrappy-Doo on the show ever again until the movie came out.
Oh my
The
god.
James Gunn movie.
The James Gunn
And
movie.
James Gunn had this sole focus. He wanted to destroy Scrappy-Doo.
Oh really? That was his. Oh what did he? I guess he grew up hating Scrappy Doo then.
He
'cause of-
despised Scrappy-Doo.
that
so
makes sense. I think I prefer Scrappy Doo to Fred though. Fred's kind of bland sometimes.
He's a dickhead, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a bit. Yeah, he's kind of a cook.
So he confirms that movie rightfully slaughtered Scrappy-Doo, and his name has never been uttered since.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Quite
Until
nice.
this podcast.
And no one's ever talked about Scrappy-Doo. You've ruined it.
Don't say his name 3 times, man. You'll come in here and replace Fred.
So I think we'll wrap it up. That'll wrap it up for this week.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say thank you to Kyle for being my co-host.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you for Samir for coming on the podcast.
Thank
it's
you
been
so
a pleasure.
much. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to being back again.
Definitely have you back. So if you have any passions yourself, feel free to leave them in the comments. We'd love to hear them.
Or hit us up if you want to be on the podcast.
Yeah, if you want to come on the podcast, we'd love to have you. The more passions, the better. I think other than that, that'll do it for this week. And we'll see you next time.
Have a good day.
Thank you.